Hey, welcome back to the show. So, this theater just dropped online recently, Spider-Noir, starring Nicolas Cage. And right off the bat, I just want to say I'm not really a Nicolas Cage fan, so I have reservations about his ability to perform this character properly. And this is a variant of Peter Parker, so this is not Peter Parker. This is Ben Reilly, who in the comics is a clone of Peter Parker. So that's an interesting twist. I kind of figured it would go that route. I mean, I don't know what Nick Cage is, but I'm kind of hoping we can get a couple of seasons of this because I've always wanted to see live action Spider-Man. There's just so much potential for the character that the MCU movies have just completely missed. Completely missed. Spending too much time having to cry over Tony Stark all the damn time, for starters. So, Spider-Noir, at least to me, was first introduced in Shattered Dimensions, a video game from back in the day, like the PS2, PS3 era, and featured a grittier, darker Spider-Man set in the 1930s. He's actually a detective, I believe, a private eye, and Ben Parker is eaten by the Vulture. Not killed by a random mugger, he's actually eaten alive by the Vulture in the 1930s universe for Spider-Noir, which kind of separates it from previous versions of the character. So I always thought that was kind of interesting in Shattered Dimensions. That was probably the best universe to explore in that game. It's kind of a shame that we never go back to that, even in Edge of Time, which is a sequel to Shattered Dimensions from that timeline. My only reservation would be for Nicolas Cage. I'm not really a Cage fan. I just don't think he's that funny. And Cage always does Nick Cage stuff and everything he does. His Ghost Rider performance was terrible in both films. Terrible. That was awful. And I just pretend I never was Superman because technically he wasn't. But I'm kind of curious to see what they do with this. I'm intrigued. Because this could be, it's clearly going to be a variant. I don't know who this character is. But this kind of makes me wonder if this is going to be connected to the Spider-Verse movies because he voices the character in those movies. I think he's in both of them. And I think he shows up at the end of the second one. I think he's in the first one. And he had, I took a picture with a dude dressed as Spider-Noir and he had a Rubik's Cube. So maybe they'll put that in the show as well. But I'm just kind of excited to see Spider-Man live action again. And technically, this is the second time it's been live action. There was a 1970s Japanese version of Spider-Man back in the day. So technically, this is the second live action series. Hopefully, it'll be a lot better than that one. But I'm kind of curious what villains they're going to use in this because it is a different setting. So they're probably going to have one of my favorite parts of Shattered Dimensions was the different tone. Like they had the Goblin who was, I think he ran the amusement park or something. Then he had the Vulture who was a serial killer. I don't think there was Sandman or anything like that, but it was a different take on the character. It was very interesting the way it did it in separate dimensions. So I wonder if they're gonna do something like that for this. Like it needs to be grittier. So this is why I'm a little concerned about Nick Cage. He's not really known for taking on gritty roles. He's always got that goofy ass personality. It kind of annoys me. And Spider-Noir isn't really known for being like jokey and witty like Peter Parker. So that's my only reservation as of now. I'm still willing to give it a shot, but my expectations are kind of low for this because Nick Cage, again, his performance as Ghost Rider was terrible in both films. They were just terrible movies. It was awful in both of them. So my expectations are kind of low for this. I am getting a little bit more hope now. We might get Miles Morales at some point, a TV series or something. I think that would make more sense for that character. He still has his own villains. So I think it would make more sense for Miles to be in TV, live action TV, and just give him his own universe. So it's not confusing like in the Sound games where there's two Spider-Men. It's just kind of weird, especially since Peter's still alive. Because in the comics, Peter is Miles' Ben Parker. So having both of them swing around is kind of weird. But if you give him his own universe, he'll be fine. So I'm getting a little bit of hope for this. Hopefully this will be opening the door for more variants to get their spotlight. I wouldn't mind a Spider-Woman TV show as well, over Gallagher and live action. I think that has a lot of potential. See, this is what I'm talking about. Spider-Noir is not a jokey character. And that's the problem you have with Nick Cage. He's always doing that same crap all the time. Honestly, he just ends up playing Nick Cage in everything he does. He doesn't really change performance no matter what he does. Like him going back to Ghost Rider because it wasn't really Johnny Blaze, just playing Nick Cage. That's all he does. That's why I'm not really a fan. He's not that funny. And Spider-Noir is not known for being a witty character. It's a darker, grittier story, grittier version of the character. And I don't know if Nick Cage can really pull that off. So that's my only concern. But if they cast him and they got this series order, someone must have seen something in his performance. Hopefully, I can get proven wrong. Hopefully, this will be good and open the door for more variants in live action. Keeping my fingers crossed for that. Miles Morales someday in live action, Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Woman in live action, Gwen Stacy, not Jessica Drew. There's so many possibilities, and again, Shattered Dimensions is where I first stumbled upon the character, and it became my favorite dimension to explore in that game. They don't bring him back even at the time, but there's a lot of potential with this. As long as Nick Cage doesn't end up just playing Nick Cage because that's all he really does when he performs in these movies. Do they even know who this guy is? Who is this dude? He's shown up a couple of times in the trailer already, so he's got to be something important. Could be a villain, could be maybe he's a version of Ben York in a Daredevil series. No idea. This could be a Molten Man, I'm guessing. But again, 1930s, so he could be a stunt performer or something. Like, because they're not The Vulture is a serial killer in the 1930s comics and Shattered Dimensions, where he devours Ben Parker. It's not some random mugger in that universe. She literally devours him. They don't show it, but he gets devoured. It's bad. So I'm guessing this might be Molten Man. Be kind of cool to see. I would love to see a Green Goblin adaptation in this in 1930s setting as like a mob boss style character. And that could be really interesting. So the Green Goblin doesn't have that many appearances in live action outside the movies. Just for the Spider-Man Raimi trilogy. That's about it. There's not that many episodes of the 90s series. He's in Spectacular a little bit. Other than that, it doesn't really, as far as live action, doesn't have that many appearances. Considering that he's Spider-Man's nemesis. People say Doc Ock is, and I'm like, no, it's Goblin. Like, I always fight people on that one. It's definitely Goblin's nemesis. He was going to be like his arch nemesis, but like, Goblin's definitely his nemesis besides Venom. So like in Spider-Noir, like I said, he's basically a detective type of character set in the 30s. Outside of that, I don't really know his origin, so I'm probably gonna, I guess, make it up. I mean, they're calling him Ben Riley, which is not who he is in the comics. He's still Peter Parker. So that's the only real twist they're doing, as far as I can tell. I don't like that like at all. Like you could have called him Peter Parker. There's no reason not to. Um, I mean, it's just silly. It's as silly as Ben Parker being alive in the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. And it just destroys the character. But that's another video for another time. And so far, it looks good. Visually, it looks pretty good. I'm going to definitely watch this in black and white for sure. It'll look kind of weird in color, I think, because it's obviously 1930s. So it's like watching The Wizard of Oz. And, well, I guess color was around back then, but that was a cool shot. In this version, it looks like it wears a hat, a fedora hat or something. How in the world do you get that to not fall off while he's swinging? And able to make a joke about that, but again, I don't need this to be another jokey Nick Cage series, you know. I don't need that. That's my only real problem with Nick Cage being cast as the character. Other than that, not too many complaints. Looks pretty good. I think it's coming out in May, so. And this guy shows up again. It's kind of making me wonder what the budget is for this TV series. I mean, we're going to get Will swinging? Oh, there we go. Because even in the MCU, Spider-Man barely does any web swinging. He's not crying out Tony Stark. So it says here, Spider-Noir trailer promises an existential crisis, classic web swinging scenes. says Prime Video has shared the first trailer and premiere date for Spider-Noir starring Nick Cage. 8-episode series will release in full on May 27th. And it's going to drop on MGM Plus and Prime Video. It's going to be an authentic black and white and true hue color. So the sneak peek is a little zanier than we anticipated. It has been Riley. Yeah, that. Like seemingly the unwilling recipient of superpowers never wanted. Yeah. The show's tagline with no power comes no responsibility. An intriguing twist. Not really intriguing because it's kind of so you can make a twist on that. I don't know what I'm kind of confused with that because it's the Ben Parker is alive nonsense in the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, which is dumb. Well, I got one in color too. Here's some screenshots. This could be, it looks like some kind of insect guy or something. This could be Molten Man here. And here as well. There's Spider-Noir right there in the background. Uncle Nick is back. Sure. Midlife meltdown. See, it's supposed to be gritty and dark, so. That is the slowest trailer I've ever seen. Come a long way since 1977 for live action Spider-Man. Yeah. The last Spider-Man series in live action was in the 1970s, I mentioned. Yeah. Okay, we'll have to have this thing on. I have no idea. Asking how does Vegeta keep his hairstyle? Yeah, it is. One thing I don't like is that they're calling him Ben Riley instead of Peter Parker. He's a variant, just make him a variant. There's no really change that aspect of the character. Because Ben Riley is a clone of Peter Parker, so I don't know what they're doing there. It looks okay, so I'll give it a shot. Looking forward to seeing what they do. Again, my only reservations are with Nick Cage because Nick Cage is always Nick Cage in all of his projects. He was horribly miscast as ghostwriter. So I'm going into this with mid-level expectations, I guess. Not expecting too much. Hopefully this will open the door for more Spider-Man products in live action. This will be the second live action series since the 70s. So it's going to be a pretty big deal for Spider-Man fans out there. But leave your comments and see what they do.